Yeah, so what we're doing now, this so-called formal practice or formal meditation, it's special in a way that it's unusual, in a way that we intentionally postpone any doingness and any planning and figuring out stuff in our life or emails or so we give ourselves time. No need to think. No need to think. We don't need to figure out anything. No planning, no controlling. So it's time just for becoming more present to our direct experience in this moment. For some of us, it's hard to just switch right away from busy, arriving, thinking to being present. It helps to have this transition of breathing awareness. So we can simply follow the movement of the air and of the breathing, follow the movement of the air, noticing the freshness, the different sensations associated with the diaphragm and the belly. Not trying to change the breath in any way, yet allowing it to be deep. Using the breathing movement as an anchor into the now. Taking vacation from thinking. So although we consciously decide there is no need to think, thinking goes on. That's how it works, which is totally normal and unavoidable. So the practice is to notice thoughts without getting lost into some story. Noticing images or flashes of memories in the comments, noticing them, but like birds passing through the sky. Our identity is not in the birds, in the thoughts, but our identity is as the aware sky. So noticing thoughts, not going along with them, coming back to the breathing. Relaxing the jaw, the facial muscles. And each time we notice we've been hijacked into daydreaming state, we can right away come back to the here and now. It's not that we try to stop thoughts from arising. We don't try to do that. That creates a lot of thoughts and inner stress and tensions. We're just noticing thoughts as they pass through and not get identified with them. Zen Master Suzuki Roshi said, it's a state of being where we don't stick to anything. That's the aim of our practice. State of being where we don't stick. As the mind gets more quiet after a few minutes, I recommend to stop focusing on the breath, although there are some meditation techniques we stay with the breath all the time. I recommend use the breathing awareness just for a little bit to transition from a busy mind to more arrived present state. Once the mind is more quiet, we can be present to the totality of the now, not just the breath. And simply be open and notice our direct experience, which contains mind stuff, images, comments, sounds in our head, body stuff, sensations, energies, contractions, feelings, sensation, and the world stuff, sounds, temperature, external sense perceptions. So staying with this open, relaxed attention, free, not just focusing on one thing, open, awarenessing, like a cat. Just witnessing and allowing whatever comes without going into daydreaming. And this time including the body in our contemplation. Tuning into the inner body, the area of the gut, the solar plexus, the heart, the throat. Noticing what is there and welcoming completely all of those energies. Without trying to label them or analyze them, why, or try to change them in any way. Don't try to reach a special state. Don't try to reach enlightenment. Don't try to reach anything. That is just an effort coming from the misunderstanding that somehow the present is not enough and something is lacking. Something is lacking in terms of happiness. Something is missing. So this egoic activity can perpetuate itself in meditation by trying to attain something or get rid of something. So having been informed, to the best we can to let go of any spiritual effort and simply effortlessly be. And this being is already here. It is real. It is that, whatever it is which is hearing these words and the traffic noise. Being or the presence, synonymous, is that which is seeing images, noticing judgments, noticing sensations in the belly. So the activity of our being is effortlessly perceiving, effortlessly consciousnessing. There's any unpleasantness in the body, don't avoid it. Notice it. You can turn towards it. And can we try to let go resisting it, and can I welcome it completely instead of trying to calm it or breathe into it or push it away or analyze it? Welcoming of these energies, so-called feelings, sensations, welcoming them with loving, benevolent indifference. In a KI, Killer Bee inquiries, they have even some inquiries to help with this diminishing resistance of feeling. I like those to make it work more practical. So we can try them. So if you notice any pocket of resistance or pocket of unpleasantness in the body, some of us might have some discomfort or tension in the heart or heaviness, or due to mysterious factors or due to life stressors or suffering, breakups, whatever. Some of us may feel clear and peaceful, and some of us may feel numb in the body. Whatever the case is okay. But if there is any sense of tension, contraction, it's like heaviness, burning, see if you can just bring awareness into that area. Just do that for a bit. As if awareness is like a scientist. A good scientist is just observing, not trying to get rid of the butterfly on the deserted island, the special blue butterfly. The scientist is just watching the butterfly, not trying to mess with it. So feel into that area, and we can say this statement. We can whisper it to ourselves or in a voice say this statement. And then as if we drop a pebble in the water, and notice any ripples. So feel into where you have any discomfort and say this: I'm not afraid to feel this. I can feel this fully. Or we can say to this pocket of unpleasantness, we can say, thank you for coming. I love you. You can stay as long as you need. And simply allow whatever that energy is, let it be what it is. We don't try to get rid of it. Trying to get rid of it, it only maintains it longer, piles more resistance on top of resistance. And as we allow it like this, we don't even need to focus into it. Our presence can notice without focusing. So open your attention and notice the space, the knowing, aware space in which these energies flow through. And then going back to this global welcoming of the now, on an equal footing, sensing sounds, sensations, and thoughts. As well as sensing this presence, without which we wouldn't be aware of anything. It's good to be told that this presence is invisible and formless, and we can't pinpoint it. So our efforts to pinpoint this aware presence will be futile. It's like we are trying to pinpoint the invisible man. We're going to be frustrated. Whatever we can pinpoint can only be content, objects, like a sound, a thought, an image, or a sensation. The awareness which hears these things cannot be pinpointed. We can try though. It's worth trying. I tried for many years. So that's the bad news. We can't pinpoint our true self. We can't say, oh yeah, here it is, bam, I got it, finally. That's the bad news. The good news is that we are it already. And although we can't pinpoint in the same way we pinpoint a sound or a color, this presence can sense itself. Different traditions, they give pointers to sense the sense of isness, sense of the fact of being aware. If some of you, I'm curious if you still feel some pocket of tension or some distinct contraction in your body. If you have that, I'm curious, you can just put your hand on it for a moment for me to see. Okay, all right, thank you. So, sometimes just allowing it, sometimes it's what's happening with this persistent sensation is that it's not just a sensation or energy or a feeling. It could be a bunch of stuff which is hidden. So if it is like that, we can try to mine out. If there is so feel into that energy in the body that is persistent, keep allowing it. And almost feel into it and say, if this pocket of whatever this is in my body, if it were to say something, if it were to have a little voice, what would it say? Or if there be some words or pictures connected with that pocket of energy, what would that be? Yeah, so let's try that. And if something bubbles up, just witness that thought. Let it be heard. You can say anything, so it doesn't need to make sense. Can say anything. Can say, I'm not safe, or I miss her, or something, Whatever this is, that's a thought. Let it be here. By witnessing this thought, it may milk more feeling now. Welcome the feeling. And stay as this aware witness. Whatever is arising, there is also that which is aware of it, which is the you, real I. Yeah, so sometimes that's what I do with myself. If there is a pocket of energy that seems persistent or a feeling, I try to mine it out and see if there is any story there or any words. And usually it comes up, and then when I hear it, then it usually releases, not all the time. It doesn't need to release. Sometimes an image may come from the sensation. And if an image comes out of sensation, that's meaningful. And it requires further mining. Like, well, what does this image mean? If you were to have a caption. And once we heard it, we can once again go back to this global sense of allowing and being present to what is. For the last 2 minutes or so, let's just do nothing, nothing to think about, effortlessly aware. I like sometimes to practice, so-called practice this transition between closed eye, formal meditation, and transitioning to open eye, non-meditation. That's our faulty understanding that, okay, now closed eye, I'm meditating, open the eye, now it's business as usual. So I like to open the eyes, but still not go into thinking or doingness right away. And just be like a toddler, enjoying seeing, free from interpreting. Seeing from, basically, we don't need the mind in order to perceive. You can verify that. First, there is, we see that, whatever that is, then it says, oh, it's a mailbox. It's a tree. It's a sky. These are labels and concepts, and we've been raised to live in, to not see what it is and to, or just see what it is very briefly, and then we have a label like a Persian carpet. It's a Persian carpet, but but actually it's a good practice to be free from this, at least sometimes, and to just see this like, okay, this is colors, and forget about the word color. And you know, people take mushrooms and LSD to have a temporary shutdown from like all this talk to see the fucking carpet, you know, and not call it a carpet, be like, oh. So I would like us to do this without